Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel. And today hopefully I have a very good and exciting video, because today we're installing this radio. Before I actually start taking the dash apart, I'm gonna get the radio ready. I'm gonna plug all these onto the back of the radio: GPS, antenna, and the main power loom. The only thing I'm gonna leave till the end is these two USB cables, because these I'm gonna feed through the top of the glove box onto the back of the radio and then plug them in. So these are gonna be the last two cables that I'm gonna run. But apart from that, all I have to do really is just take the dash apart and just plug the new radio. So let's get this radio all ready. I have the radio here, and the main connection will go here, and then you have all sorts of connections here at the top, and you can really get this wrong because they're all different sizes, so they only plug in one specific place. So you don't need to worry about plugging anything in the wrong place, because they only go in their specific slot. And also there's these loose cables here and here. Some of them have the exact same label. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna still connect them together just in case, because the instructions don't tell me to connect them, but because they have the exact same label, I'm gonna plug them together just to be on the safe side. So the power loom, and then there's a small white connector that will go on the second slot. Just push that in, and there's one plug here for the antenna somewhere. Yeah, this one for the antenna that goes on this bit here for the antenna. So you plug that together, and then onto the antenna slot, and then this part here will connect on the antenna plug from the back of the radio, so you need to plug that here. Now the other loom, this one has 10 pins, so the 10-pin one is the very last one. Plug that in, and these, there's nothing to be connected there. And then there's this one with loads and loads and loads of wires. That one there goes on the very first one. That's it, all plugged in. Now there's two cables here, white and red, that will match a white and red from this loom here. So let me find that out here. So those two labels match these two, so I'm gonna plug them in because they have the same label. There, and let me see, let's just double check. There's another one here. No, not this one. There's another one here for the amp. And here, there you go. So there's another one that have the same label and that they will match when you connect them. There you go. So now the radio is ready to be fitted, and all you have to do is fit this behind it and plug the antenna plug here and the main loom here. Now we're ready to take this dash apart, and I actually forgot to show you, but it only goes in one place. The GPS antenna, it's actually screwed on the bottom connection there, so you screw that on, and then the GPS receiver, you're gonna have to find a place for it under the dash when you take these trims apart. So let's remove these trims. And there's a connection on this mesh, which I believe is for the temperature sensor. So unplug that. There's a connection right here. I believe it's for the outside temperature sensor. So put that away. And now it's going to be hard to see. I can't even see it. But there's two screws here somewhere that I can't find. No, it's one screw. So where the temperature sensor goes in, there's a screw at the very back, and I believe it's a T20. I got the T20, T25 here, just in case I need either one of them. Yeah, it's a T20. Yeah, so that one is out, and yeah, careful with the plug. So this is actually separate from that, so you need to remove this, and then the two screws from that. This only has one screw at the very back where the temperature sensor was. So now let's find the other two screws that are right at the top. You really cannot miss it. So one, and two. And now to remove this, you can pry this off from the back. You can see the tabs. Yeah. And now here at the front, they actually clip on the bottom trim. So you'll have to like pop them up first before you actually take this off. There. And again, careful with that plug. And there's something else connected here. Yeah, for the light and the hazard. So there's a plug here. So that's one off, and the other one comes out from the top. There's a clip here holding this in place. You can just pull it out. So there you go. Take this out the way, and as I said, these here, they clip on the bottom trim, so you have to pry those off first before you can take this piece off. And now there's two screws here holding the bottom trim in place, again T20s. There we go. and all these screws, they're all the same, so it doesn't really matter which one goes where. And now carefully, so you don't break the trim, or with the trim tool, just go around it and pop the clips. There we go, almost done. And I believe there's one more, just there we go. So you remove this, and now you have the radio exposed, and it should be 4 screws, but I can see that my radio only has 3, but the radio is very secure there, so won't be a big problem. Now let's remove this radio. Again, T20 screws. I'm just gonna compare them just to make sure the radio ones, yeah, the radio ones is just the same screws as the trims, so you can keep them all in the same place. And now the last one. There we go. Now the radio should just come loose. There you go. If you actually put your hand up here on top of the radio and just slide it forward, it will come straight out. Just a quick recap before we continue with the installation. You remove the first screw from back there. That's for that trim that the mesh sits on, and then also you remove that. You have 2 screws here, again all T20s. You remove those. This is for the hazard lights. It's just a spring. This is a spring loaded, so you have to pull the spring and then pull the connector. That one is for the temperature sensor at the very top, and this one here is for the light that says airbag off. And now that you have the radio loose, you're gonna have to remove the power connection there, the quad lock, and then these 2 antenna cables. And this one here is the one that you're gonna connect on the antenna. That's the one you're gonna connect onto the antenna that came with the new radio. And then it's just a matter of putting everything together, and obviously we're gonna have to test it before we put everything together, just in case it doesn't work. But once you have everything connected, you can start the ignition and test it. And then, as I said, the USB cables, I'm going to feed it through the back of the glove box, and they're coming through here, and then I'm going to plug it onto the radio. So as I said, now I can get these ready. Even the USB cables, they don't have the same plug for the radio. So one is a 4-wire plug and the other one is a 6-wire plug. So you really cannot mess this up, because the 4-wire plug goes in one specific place, and the 6-wire plug goes in one specific place. So like I said, every single cable has its specific place, so you don't need to worry about messing this up. So at the very top of the glove box, there's an opening which you're gonna feed the wires through. And you're gonna have to fish from the back here. I got one. Where's the other one? And can't seem to find the second one. There. So I got them both. So it's a bit tricky doing from the driver's seat, but it's definitely doable. As you can see, the two cables are now fed through, and once I plug those in, I can plug everything else back and put the radio back in place. So here we go. One in, second one in. So that's now plugged in. I'm just going to put the plastic here because I don't want to scratch it. Now the main loom goes on this and lock it in place, and now just the antenna will connect on this one. What I'm going to, this is supposed to have a white housing, but because it doesn't, I'm going to put a bit of tape just to prevent it coming loose in the future. But we're ready to test it. But actually, because I unplugged the hazard plug, it might throw an airbag fault or some sort of light. So I'm just gonna put the trim here. I'm just gonna put the trim back and plug this in and then test it. But I'm just gonna put all the wires back there. I'm just gonna sit the radio in place first. So this should be, oh no, again I almost forgot. You need to find a place for the GPS antenna. There's a sticky pad in the back. You can just stick it here because the radio won't be there, so you can just stick it up there, but you need to put the cables inside of the dash. Make sure this is not loose. Peel this back and stick it up there. Now feed the cables through. Yeah, there we go. It sits perfectly in place. So now need to put this trim back and plug the hazard connector just to prevent any fault code showing up. And we're ready to test it. Let's go. Okay, this is the moment of truth. I've got the key in hand. Let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. It's all plugged in properly and everything's gonna work. So let's start ignition and cancel this indicator. There we go. And as I said, because I unplugged that, I got an airbag fault, which is no big problem because I can always plug VCDS and clear it. But yeah, actually the airbag fault is because of the light that I unplugged, because it doesn't close the system and throws the airbag light. But no, it's not a big deal. I can always cancel it. Look at this, it is working. And this is volume, this is for radio, so let's see if radio works. Let's see if, yeah, there we go. It does work. So now what we have to do is put everything back and we've got a brand new radio. this is all going well so far, so we just need to put this back together and then we can enjoy a brand new radio. And yeah, I quite like it. Looks so yam. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. This one actually is really good. So let's put this thing back together. Here we are, everything is put back together. The tricky one was that this top bolt up here is very tricky if you're using a screwdriver, because you're gonna be very close to the windshield. And yeah, but it's doable. You can also use a ratchet. That would make your life way easier, but it's all put together. USB cables up here. I'm gonna find a way to like tuck them in, make them shorter without them going behind the glove box. But yeah, all installed. Let me get the old radio. So as you see, if you see them both together, kind of looks OEM with the bigger screen, with the radio buttons on the side and the knobs at the bottom. The press on the button, it's nice. It's not too soft, it's not too hard to push. It feels very solid. And again, let me get the key. And it was plug and play like I was expecting. You turn the ignition on and the radio boots itself. Again, the airbag light that I will need to clear because I started without this plug here for the airbag. I plugged the hazard, but I didn't plug that one, so it's showing airbag light, which I'll clear later. And yeah, there we go, full installation. And now all I have to do is pull this off. Oh, actually, don't know YouTube copyrights case on me. So and this is a touchscreen too, so I actually forgot about that, and I cannot pull that off. There you go. That was a bit anticlimactic, but here we go. So satisfying, I cannot lie. But yeah guys, that's it. Radio is installed. Again, like always, I cannot thank you enough for the time you put in watching my videos. I do appreciate it a lot. So hopefully you like this one as well. Hopefully I inspire you some confidence to get this done yourself, because as you can see, it was plug and play. And I hope you like it. Press that like button, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.